All right, you don't have to have a degree to be successful, and college is not for everyone. Joining us this morning over Zoom is our good friend Mike Andes, the founder of CoPilot CRM, telling us about turning a side hustle into a successful career. Good to have you on this morning. How's it going?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, Mike, I don't know anybody. I wish I had taken more shop classes in high school, because if I was a welder, an electrician, a plumber, or a carpenter, like many of my uncles are, I'd be a very wealthy man today, because you can't get any of those guys. They're always busy. These businesses are booming, right?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that we forget so often is that 20 years ago, a lot of the social media platforms and tech firms that so many of us as college students, even several years ago, were pushed to go work for, they didn't even exist 20 years ago. And so whether or not they'll exist in 20 years from now is debatable, but what is not debatable is whether or not you will need a welder, you will need someone to do your lawn care, you will need your house cleaned. And that's why blue collar industries, even on places like TikTok, these social platforms, have really begun to take root over the past few months.
I tell you what, reading some of your background here, so you dropped out of medical school, you started a lawn care business. 10 years later, you've got, what, 150 locations around the world here. So you really are the entrepreneurial spirit. What would you say to people right now who are just getting ready to get out of high school? They're not sure what they want to do with their lives. What's the first thing they should do?
I think we really need to step back and question whether or not going and getting a white collar job, going and getting $200,000, $300,000 worth of student loans is really worth that right now. I think over the past couple of years, as interest rates have increased and we've seen the layoffs really coming from the white collar industries, Facebook, Google, Meta, these other companies laying off hundreds of thousands of employees over the past couple of years, whereas in the home services, we see a boom. We see massive amounts of demand. We see huge amounts of backlog. We continue to raise prices. And as the baby boomers continue to age, the wealth of our country is held in their hands, and much of their net worth is made up in their houses. And so serving those customers and serving those properties is extremely profitable.
So you look at places like right now in Florida, where all of these kinds of services are going to be in high demand, not just right now for a couple of weeks. It's going to be years for some folks to rebound with plumbing, with getting electric, with drywalling, with their lawns, which have all been ripped up by the last two hurricanes. These are some of the areas where these kind of work, this is going to be hot.
Absolutely. And I think, it's so easy to think about creating the next app or the next Facebook or creating the next social media campaign. But ultimately, these services are only continuing to increase in the demand, while at the same token, there's less and less people wanting to do these type of jobs. And so even with our franchisees at Augusta Lawn Care, over the past few weeks, they've been able to serve members of their community and make tens of thousands of dollars doing it. Meanwhile, many of us are sitting back thinking that we need a 5-10 year degree and get hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt to get a job that potentially might not be secure over the next 5 to 10 years.
Hey, Mike, quickly before we go, what's your next big venture? Is lawn care going to be your thing, or you have something else cooking in the works?
I really believe that software is going to be the way that we can help these business owners take their skills and their work ethic and actually make it profitable. So many of these small businesses in home services, for example, they work so hard, but they just don't understand the business side of things, and they don't know what to do next in their business. And so CoPilot's mission is to kind of give them the KPIs, the key performance indicators in their business, but then actually tell them what to do next, raise prices, when to hire people, which services are most profitable, and make this kind of blue collar industry not only sexy and appealing from TikTok's perspective, but actually profitable to be able to provide for someone's family.
Mike, appreciate having you on this morning. We got to run, but we'll check you out online as well. All right, let's get back to Jordan now.